I hope today, when you woke up, you claimed your day, that you put your hands over your head and you said, today is going to be a great day. You're claiming your day instead of giving it away. Welcome to another episode of Apothekerry. I am so excited to be here with you today. I was thinking over the weekend of what we were going to talk about, and we will get into why we're here. We're here for the fig leaf and the figs, of course, the figs, right? I'm on my third round of figs right now. We are just coming to an end of this last harvest, and I see some new ones popping up. I don't know if it was that bone meal that I gave them or the charcoal. I don't know what it was, but it was something that I gave them that they loved, and they're giving me a third round. Not all the trees. We have 10 full trees here on the farm. As you can see, if you can see me on YouTube or Spotify, you will notice that Aurora would like to be a part of today's episode. This is my cat, Aurora. She sticks close to me. She basically lives in this room here in the Moroccan room, and she was taking a nap, and I sat down and she stood up, and I thought she was going to jump off, but I guess she's going to be here. And so welcome, Aurora. I need to tell you about a story. I noticed that when I am more vulnerable and I just pick up the camera and I lay down or I'm sitting up or whatever it may be and it's not polished, I notice that I get so much more attention on those videos. And I think people just want more real, more abundance, more of spare of the moment and nothing scripted. Having her here, I could have kicked her off, but she wanted to stay. And I just think that that's just being real. This is a part of my life and she's a part of my life. And I would never want to say, hey, you can't be a part of the show if she wants to be a part of the show, right? So speaking of stories, this past weekend, I took off and unplugged. I had some work to do, but nothing big deal. And we were staying in a beautiful, beautiful home in Truckee, on the borderline of Truckee and Tahoe. And in the middle of my getaway of unplugging, all the lights turned off. And as you guys have probably heard, there was the big Reno fire, and we really didn't know what was going on. And so we realized that all of the lights, all of the electricity in Truckee was turned off. And so, you turn your attention inward, at least I did, and thought about, gosh, think about those people that are going through it at that moment, having to evacuate. And living in the foothills, you do get a lot of fires, but Reno, that was kind of like unheard of. In fact, my girlfriend that I was staycaying, meaning we didn't go that far. We drove each probably an hour and a half. She probably drove an hour because she lives in Tahoe. My old neighbor, who I love and adore. We were sitting there and she was explaining to me that Tahoe really normally doesn't have fires. In fact, this is the first, big one that she's ever heard of. And so just because of the fire sensitivity, we were ordering, candles because the Airbnb we were staying at had one flashlight, which I really would love to write a note to the owner and say, you know what, you should have a flashlight, as an emergency in each room, maybe in a cabinet or whatever, lanterns or anything that's battery operated that, you could just turn on. The lights didn't turn on again until, I think that was Saturday night, until 11:30 at night. And I was already sleeping at that time. I got my rest up, but just being able to unplug and then coming back to not very many eggs. And I couldn't understand why until yesterday morning. I walked in and I got 40 eggs. And I'm just sitting, looking at this big basket of eggs, beautiful eggs. And I'm thinking, girls, your chicken sitter told me that they only got 5 eggs from you. one day and 4 eggs the other day. So what the heck? What's going on here? I think honestly that they missed me. And when this person is not a stranger, but this person has never taken care of the chickens before. So, this was a new face to them. And believe it or not, chickens can memorize up to 100 faces. So, if somebody lived here on my farm for a year or 2 years or even 6 months, whatever it may be, they will remember that person. They just love Amy, my photographer. They just love and adore her. They stay away from her. They give her her own space, which is kind of unheard of with my chickens because they just want to follow me everywhere. But I thought that was interesting. And I also think it's energy too, as well. They felt my energy come back onto the property Sunday. They heard my voice. I walked past their coop. They said, "Oh, mom's home." I know that's what they thought and what they said, I mean. And so when your nervous system, they're little human, they're little, I don't want to say little humans, but they are little lights they're my little humans, even though they're a bird. They've got little spirits, and I do think that they pick up on the energy, and they were able just to relax and think to themselves, okay, it's back to normal. She's back. She's back, and she's going to give us the good treats. That's what they were thinking. So anyway, let's get into figs. Figs are amazing. I have 10 trees growing. I have 2 volunteer fig trees in my lower garden in the front pasture, so that makes 10. So I probably won't get fruit from them for at least a couple years. But all of the new ones that I added in the last, 3-4 years, I have quite a few that are in my fern garden. So they get half sun, half shade during the day. One of them that gets full sun is just growing like unbelievably how fast this fig tree has grown this summer. And it has 1 fig on it. It's not ripe yet. I have a huge fig tree that I want to say is a teenager fig tree. She is about 7-8 years old. I don't know. I just age them because of when they get their figs, and they're not gigantic. But I did go out and pick some fig leaves because believe it or not, when you toast a fig leaf, you get this coconut, vanilla smell and taste and aroma. It's just so beautiful to be able to blend that with other herbs. And I hope by now that you guys are harvesting what you're getting. Even when you're going to the farmer's market, you can easily grab, a bunch or bulk of something and harvest it. You could put it in your dehydrator if you have one. If you don't have one, they're easy to get. You can order them online, or you can get them from Marketplace even. I got a big one from Marketplace. So mine is huge, and I have multiple drawers in it. And I just layer the drawers with whatever I'm harvesting. It could be even lemons. I'll cut the lemons up and place them on the trays and hydrate them. And they just make beautiful tea, or even to pop them into a pot of stew just to give that little citrus zap. It's really good, a high source of vitamin C. I know I'm getting all over the map because now I'm going into another herb, but I think it's important to by now start having enough ingredients to get you through the fall and the winter season. We spoke a little bit about fire cider and starting that. If you want that recipe, you can always find that on our website. It's in our blog. And fig leaves, I don't like to pick the fig leaves when the figs are just starting out. I don't want to stress the tree unless it has a ton of leaves and they're growing in the base of the tree. I will go ahead and peel them back. Now, there is a white, fiber that discharges. It doesn't happen to me, but it does happen to a lot of people where it will irritate their skin. I don't know why it doesn't do that to me. And I think maybe my body's just immune to the fig, sap that comes out. A lot of people have used it topical and folk recipes. And, that's up to you. Again, I'm not a doctor or a dermatologist, but I will say that I've heard that people get great responses from using the sap that comes out. When you pick a fig and sap comes out, it means the fig is not ripe. It's not ready yet. I notice that when I wait and let them go where they're soft and they're to the touch and you pick it, it's less. You will only see a white sap in there, but it won't be dripping. If it's dripping, it's not ready to harvest. That's been my experience. But the leaves, I will go ahead and take right now when I know that another tree is not going to give me a third batch. I'll go ahead and harvest their leaves. And again, you can dry them naturally, or you could toast them in the oven on 200 degrees. You don't want them to be black. You want it to be a nice golden color. Taking that and you can crunch it up and put it in a nice jar. Or you can use a coffee grinder and turn it into a powder. You can add it into different recipes. If you want that coconut vanilla flavor, you can make pancakes out of them with other ingredients, of course. So I did steep some, and I did mix my butterfly pea flower in there and my high frequency bohemian rose. I love adding the rose in and getting that high frequency and just getting a little bit more of that floral. The flavor of this, I already know, I have not tasted it yet. It's going to be that coconut vanilla. It's going to be that beautiful purple color because that's what pea flowers do with the high frequency rose. So the end note is going to be, for sure, it's going to be the rose. So I have these crystal, if you can see me, teacups that I buy locally from my friend Ron John. He owns a crystal shop in Nevada City. And I just love collecting these teacups. And they're pure crystal. Like this one is amethyst, if you can see me. And so drinking out of high frequency stone is something, it's the norm here. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my favorite. I always gravitate towards it. And I'm going to go ahead and pour a little bit of this fig leaf in here because I want you to feel the full experience of it and get my expression too, right? Okay, that is delicious. That was a really good blend. That's the first time I've done that where I've added the pea flower. I've done the rose before. Now, if you want a little bit of a different, more of a lemon flavor, you could go ahead and put lemon verbena in there. There's so many different things that you could do. Whatever your taste buds wants, you can have. That's the beauty of this. You can start, really harvesting and bottling. I recommend you putting this stuff in glass containers. If you notice, I'm a big fan of colored vintage glass. Let's see in here. This is dandelion root. So this is a nice harvest to get me through fall and winter. I also have some other seeds on here that are about to go in this summer. I'm starting to layer my seeds now. Aurora, we're not chewing on that, honey. No, be a good girl. No biting. That's no. You're being such a good girl. Oh, you're such a good listener. Are you going to be a good listener or are you going to prove me wrong to everybody? So getting back to just really getting what you want. What are your favorites? What are your favorite herbs out there? Whatever that is, there are plenty of companies that sell in bulk. I always recommend, if you love it, to definitely buy it in bulk because then that makes your price go down per pound and start really stocking up on the things that are going to support your immune system getting through this next couple seasons. It's starting to get colder. I started smelling fall about 10 days ago. I was sitting in my Moroccan room and I could just smell it. I could feel the breeze was getting a little bit colder at night. And that's when I know. And that's when I start moving into my harvesting energy, start getting my baskets out, start getting my wooden boxes out, and start getting ready to do, the big harvest. I have one peach tree that was completely ripe last week. And so I picked a big bucket of peaches and I brought them up to my weekend getaway, and that was really nice. And my girlfriend's daughter wanted the rest of them so she could make a peach cobbler. And I'd said, take them. This is so amazing. This is so great. And I left the extra eggs. I love bringing stuff from the land that I can bring and gift somebody else. It just sparks so much joy for me because it's my energy, it's my love, and that's coming from this land that I get to be the keeper of. And it's up to me of how well these trees are and these herbs are. The more attention I'm giving them, the more love I'm giving them, the more water I'm giving them on those hot days instead of letting them struggle, I'm going to reap the benefits from that. So it's just like, putting love and attention into yourself and, listening to your body. You are going to be better. It's the same way with the plants. They're a living ecosystem. So let's go over some more benefits on the figs. Strong and magnesium, potassium, and calcium, vitamin K. You women out there that are sluggish or going through that time of your life. And I say that so positively because, when you pop out the other end, you're a new, powerful freaking woman. And so fig leaf and figs, start intaking them. And I know they're expensive in the stores. So if you can grow your own fig tree, even one, even in a pot, I've seen people buy really big, huge Italian terracotta pots and had one fig tree in it that gave them fruit and enough fruit. So, don't limit yourself. You can do anything you want as long as you put your mind to it. I'm a true believer of that. And I also believe that whatever you want wants you, which led me last night. I wrote down a couple things. So let me just get it. Okay, so I was thinking about what the fig, the energy that comes from the fig. And when I think of a fig tree, I think of abundance because it's not just one fig, it's hundreds of figs, especially when the fig tree is a mature fig tree. Nourishment. For sure. I thought of wisdom. The fig tree has a lot of wisdom. Think about it. You can use the leaves to sweeten or you can add that into your baking or into your food or whatever you want to do with the fig leaf to give it that aroma, that vanilla and coconut. It's incredible if you want to put it in your coffee, if you're a coffee drinker. I know that when people think of a creamer, they think, it's that white or that creamy color, but this will do the same sweetness, but without the artificial flavors and without the, cane sugars. I don't put a sweetener in any of my stuff except for natural Manuka honey or regular raw honey. I do have agave on hand all the time, but those are my sugar substitutes. And so you can, add that too if you want and add it to your sweet, how sweet you want it. I don't know what your palate is like, but I just know that I want to really taste whatever I'm drinking and I don't want to mask it. So I don't put a lot of creamers or any of that stuff. And in fact, the only milk that I drink is coconut milk. I'm in love with it. I think it's amazing. It's so good for your skin and your hair and your nails and your body. And it hydrates you. So that's really the only the only milk that I drink that I keep on stock at all times. But she really just the generosity of her, of all the benefits that you get from her, that you're able to use the leaves and her latex sap. It's a big deal in other countries, her sap. You can look it up. Again, you have to be careful. That's not something that you want to get on your skin or on your face when the sun is out. It can irritate you. And I just want to have that disclaimer in here. But again, if you look it up, you'll know that it is a powerful serum that a lot of women use. This is really good. The fig is really good for your heart, wellness, and she is really good source of fiber. She will keep you going. So you can do your own due diligence on the fig and figure out like what figs work best, what fig varieties work best for you in your climate. You always want to check your growing zones to see where you're at and what will work. Trust me, don't chance it. I've done it before, coming from the Bay Area and moving up to the foothills. There were things that were my favorites in the Bay Area that just do not grow well here. And so it's just a waste of money. But I did notice that in my zone, I do get a lot more sun longer than, 15 minutes away from me even. So things tend to grow really well here, but there are some herbs that do not grow well here. And I've tried it a couple times. And once I've tried it, 2-3 times, I'm done. I'll give it a break. I'll let it cycle out maybe 5 years and then I'll try it again. And if I fail again, it just won't work with the soil here. And I'm okay with that because there's so much I can grow here. So I started this off talking about claiming your day and not giving it away and how powerful it is. That takes me to, doing little things like that are little microdoses. And I started a new series called Microdosing Conscious Living. And every single day I deliver a dose, a simple dose to make you think, and maybe you can implement it. Because living a conscious living lifestyle is not something that you do all at once. You start adding it in little by little, seed by seed. And I cannot believe the response we have gotten with this new series, and people are really enjoying it because it's something that you actually can implement. It's one bite at a time, right? We were looking at the analytics and we realized 53% of men are listening to the microdosing conscious living and getting their daily dose on a daily basis. I even see some men commenting and so many views. And that's what I look at is how many lives is this actually impacting? And so I encourage you to go over to Instagram, the original series of Microdosing Conscious Living, and take a listen and see if you're getting the same impact. I can't wait to see you guys next week. I love you so much. Have a beautiful day.